Oh, okay, I gotta stop recording because there's too many bugs. Got my camera, Look at this tall grass. I guess we'll have to go through it. Swish, swish, swish. Kind of like swimming in warm soup. So one of the things I always like to tell people when you're going out shooting at night, especially in an unfamiliar place, you should probably arrive well before sunset. So that's why I've, of course, arrived here after sunset in the middle of a rainstorm. We'll see what it's like. I've never been to this particular spot, but I have been to another spot just down the road, and this one is sort of similar, so I know what to expect in terms of light pollution, and hopefully it'll be good. I'm just hoping that these clouds that are around me end up clearing, so I didn't waste an hour-long drive to get here. So I've been waiting probably about half an hour now, and the thunderstorm that was here when I arrived is finally moving to the south, and I was hoping that the clouds would clear, looking out toward where the Milky Way should be, and lo and behold, there it is. And you can see the lightning is still lighting up the sky. Okay guys, oh my gosh. There are a lot of bugs out. I did like a field change to get myself into long sleeves and long pants. And I put this bug net on, and it's still just ridiculous. There are an unbelievable amount of bugs. And it doesn't help that, you know, the LCD screen of the camera tracks them, and so I've just been doing dancing, just dancing, and like trying to wipe the bugs off my arms, and oh my gosh, it's been not very fun. For this little outing, I finally got a hold of this, the Sony 16mm f1.8G. I'm personally excited for this lens because it's half the price of Sony's 14mm f1.8G master lens, but it's just as fast, nearly as wide, and about 40% smaller and lighter. Initial impressions of the 16mm G are very positive, especially for astro. Here's a look at a completely unprocessed photo shot at f1.8. This one's tracked with the Move Shoot Move Nomad tracker, and I used a 30-second long exposure at ISO 2000. It's notable that I had my in-camera corrections for vignetting enabled on my Sony a7C, and one of the first things that I noticed was this light halo. It's subtle, but you can see it right here if you look carefully. It's definitely a result of Sony's built-in lens corrections. I've experienced the same issue on a number of other Sony lenses, and the way to avoid it is to disable your in-camera vignetting correction. With that one quirk out of the way, let's look at how it renders stars. I focused in the center of the frame, where stars are rendered sharp and round just as expected. Looking out to the edges, and the stars are still looking pretty great. There's a very mild amount of tangential and sagittal astigmatism, but it's exceptionally minor even at f1.8. Even with the in-camera corrections enabled, the corners at f1.8 are still noticeably darker from vignetting. Stop it down to f2, and the gradient from the vignetting reduces quite a bit, but the stars aren't too dramatically changed in terms of shape. At f2.2, we start to see the stars tighten up a bit, and at f2.5, they're nearly perfect. Stop it down to f2.8, and the stars are basically perfect pinpoints. Now, if I brighten up this f2.8 image and compare it directly with a wide open shot at f1.8, you can see the sharpness gains and vignetting improvement we get from stopping down, but honestly, I would have no hesitation shooting this lens wide open at f1.8, or perhaps stopping down just to f2 to mitigate a little bit of that vignetting. Overall, the lens shows exceptionally good performance for night photography, so I'm glad to have it with me on this little adventure. Alright, enough of this technical stuff. Let me show you my first shot of the night. So I'm gonna just walk down this dirt road here, see if I can find, I wanna find some cool looking trees to compose. I feel like, I was just shooting in kind of like an open field with a bunch of palmettos, and I don't know, I wanna try to find something a little more interesting in terms of like foreground or silhouette. There is a tree kind of right here. Maybe get some palmettos in the foreground, the tree, and then the Milky Way on the right side. Okay, let's go ahead and set that up real quick. It's cooling off a little bit, which is nice, but there's still just a ton of bugs, so not super fun, but getting some cool shots, so hopefully I'll have something to show you guys. Man, this is a really interesting path here, right through all this tall grass. It's pretty fun. I feel like I definitely want to shoot a still of this tall grass. It was a little bit taller just a minute ago, so I might backtrack a little bit and take a shot of it. Got my camera, Look at this tall grass. I guess we'll have to go through it. Swish. Swish, swish, swish.
The lantern fades, a wick runs thin, a hollow hum.
This is the really tall grass. It kind of has kind of like a real liminal space vibe to it, where the grass is sort of, or the path sort of just ending at the horizon. Pretty cool. I'm gonna try and shoot this somehow. I wish the Milky Way was in it. I guess it will be much later, or maybe near sunrise. But for now, I'll go ahead and shoot this. Maybe try a couple different tripod heights and see what it makes the grass look like. I found some taller trees here. These ones seem pretty cool. They've just got this like, you know, real scraggly look to them. The North Star is right behind that closest, tallest looking tree. I think this might be a cool composition to do some star trails, so maybe I'll run this for like 15 minutes if I can endure the bugs. Let me go ahead and get that set up. I think I'll do a landscape orientation shot this time around. It's so easy to try and get stuck on the portrait orientation, just because you're always wanting to like get as much of the sky in there as possible, but I'm gonna try a landscape one this time. Oh, I feel like it's cooling off quite a bit. There's still a ton of bugs, so that's still not very much fun. But at least the temperature is becoming a little more tolerable. I'm trying to look for just one more composition, I think. Hopefully with the Milky Way. Milky Way is pretty much at vertical right now. It's also over a fairly light polluted area. So I don't know how good my shots will come out, but there's some cool trees up here, I think, so hopefully I can find some kind of composition. I think I need to move closer so I get closer to that one tree on the left, just to try and balance it out. I don't want that one tree cutting off on the edge of the frame on the right. Okay, let's try something like that. I think that was a pretty good night shooting. Thanks so much for joining me. If you ever want to join me out in the field, I just opened up some workshops that will be starting this year. I'm going to tend to schedule workshops for places that are a little less insect ridden. So I think that would be a lot of fun, you know, to have you out there with me, and we'll shoot some night photos together. I'll show you my workflow. We'll work on improving your night photography right out in the field in one of the best places to shoot night photography. My initial workshops will be out of California in some of the places that I really love to shoot out there. Being in the high desert, there's gonna be a lot less bugs. The skies are way darker than this, and you know, I think it'll be a ton of fun. So please check those out on lonelyspec.com/workshops.